guys, for today's video, I'll be showing you how I take my notes on my iPad for medical school. So I've been using my iPad to take notes ever since I was in first year med school, and personally, I really do recommend getting an iPad if you're in med school, especially if you plan to take your notes or make your notes and read your books on your iPad. And if you don't want to go through the hassle of buying pens and highlighters and colored pens, for me, especially if your course requires you to look at a lot of structures or images, it's easier on the iPad because you can just zoom in and look at the pictures and easily Google them. Basically, everything that you need is in just one device. In med school, we study anatomy, and it's easier for me to study it here using my iPad because I can just go back to the structures. I can draw them here on my iPad. So that's what we'll be doing today. I'm going to show you guys how I draw and take my notes on my iPad using Notability, and I promise you guys that it's really easy. So I hope you guys enjoy watching the rest of the video. Okay, so to start, I have here my iPad Pro 11 inches, and to write my notes, I use this Apple Pencil. So this is the Apple Pencil 2nd Gen. And here's a brief overview of my iPad for med school. So I just have the basic Google apps that I need. And here are my apps for learning. And I also have UpToDate and Amboss for my references that I use in school. Now moving on to the note-taking app, which is Notability. I like that once you open the app, the interface is really clean. It's a quick tour. Here are my most used tools up here. So we have the pen tool, so you can actually adjust the thickness of the pen and also the colors. Then we have the highlighter, which also shows the thickness and the colors. And what's great is that you can add a ton of highlighters on here using different ways, such as entering the color hex code. Let's say I want a highlighter with a particular shade of pink. So what I do is go on Pinterest and then search for the pink color hex code, and then it will show a ton of different color hex codes that you can use. So the hex codes are actually the combination of numbers and letters. So let's say you want this particular shade of pink, you just have to input the hashtag F2949C. It's that easy. There's actually a lot on Pinterest. Like, you can actually base your highlighter colors off of Stabilo highlighters if you're used to those colors. So they actually have hex codes for that, and you can also use the hex codes of the mild liner highlighters and also the Muji pen colors. You can also use that as well. So let's say I want this particular shade of pink. So the hex code is ECA0B0. So I'll just go on back to Notability, press the plus sign here, ECA0B0. So there, that's the particular shade of pink that I want, and then I just press the check button, and then I have it now here in the Notability app. So another way for adding highlighter colors or pen colors into Notability is by using the color dropper tool. So it's actually that one, but in order for it to pick up some color, you need first an image in your document. So I'm gonna go on to Google again, a photo of a flower. I want this flower color in highlighter form, so I'm going to copy it, and then using this lasso tool, I'm going to paste it, tapping on the highlighter and then the plus sign, and then the color dropper tool, I will just guide it over here in the color that I want, and then select the check mark, and then I instantly have the same color. So this is perfect if you want to copy the same color as seen in the image. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys how I actually draw my structures on Notability. Basically, I just open up Google and then search for the image that I want to draw. Then what I do is long press, copy, go back to Notability, select the lasso tool, and then just long press and then paste. I want to draw this part. Now, how I'm going to do that is by matching the color of my pen to the color on the drawing. What I do is I trace first the outline of the image. So what I like to do here is to transfer my drawing into another area and then just copy the color on the image. To add on this color, so I'm going to use the color dropper to get the same shade. I'm going to write down the derivatives of the spray and then use the highlighter corresponding to the color that I made. I can now use the lasso tool and then long press, delete.